It's that time again. Preseason basketball is back, and we've got 4 games lined up for October 13th, 2025, that deserve your full attention. Today, we're breaking down all 4 matchups, complete with side picks and total picks for each, to give you a sharper edge before tip-off. So grab your notepad, lock in, and get ready, because this is Beyond the Box Score, where we dig deeper into what really moves the numbers behind every bet. And hey, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you never miss a chance to get ahead of the lines, because in this business, timing is everything. Let's kick things off in Atlanta, where the Miami Heat face the Hawks at State Farm Arena. The Heat are coming in on tired legs after a 120-104 loss in Orlando on Sunday, making this a road back-to-back, never an ideal setup for any team in preseason mode. Atlanta, on the other hand, returns home after a 122-116 win in Memphis with a full day of rest. That's a key difference. The Hawks' retooled lineup featuring Kristaps Porzingis next to Trae Young already looks like it's finding its rhythm, and adding young pieces like Dyson Daniels and rookie Zachary Racier has brought some defensive energy and floor balance. Miami, still without Tyler Herro, lacks a consistent perimeter shot creator, which puts more pressure on Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo to carry offensive flow. That's a heavy ask in a preseason back-to-back. Atlanta's spacing, size, and rest advantage all tilt this one toward the home side. The pick here, Atlanta to win and cover the spread as favorites. As for the total, Miami's preseason scoring has swung wildly, from a 103-93 defensive grind against Milwaukee to a 224-point shootout in Orlando. But when you're coming off a back-to-back without Herro, it usually means more bench-heavy minutes, fewer clean looks, and more isolation-driven possessions late in the game. Atlanta's new-look defense, with Daniels' length and Jalen Johnson's switchability, should make Miami's shot quality dip. Expect some choppy offense and a lower efficiency pace. The projection here leans under the total, with fatigue on the Heat side and defensive cohesion starting to show on Atlanta's. Now let's shift to Indiana, where the Pacers host the San Antonio Spurs at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Indiana's coming off a solid 116-101 home win against Oklahoma City and gets to stay put, while San Antonio travels in after an overtime win on Friday and a travel day in between. That alone gives Indiana a meaningful rhythm advantage. The Pacers list Aaron Nesmith, Andrew Nebbard, and Pascal Siakam as game-time decisions, while San Antonio remains without De'Aaron Fox, who's nursing a hamstring issue. That's a major loss in terms of on-ball creation for the Spurs. Indiana's offense looked balanced and efficient in their last outing, moving the ball well even when key starters sat. With Fox sidelined, San Antonio leans heavily on secondary ball handlers, and that's not where their strengths lie yet. Indiana's home continuity, depth, and rested legs make them the logical side. The pick here, Indiana to win and cover the spread as favorites. When it comes to the total, beware of the inflated scores that overtime games can bring in preseason. Both of these teams have an overtime result on the board this week, and that can make averages look misleading. With several Pacers still questionable and the Spurs likely limiting minutes for key pieces, we're looking at more bench stretches and half-court sets. That's a recipe for lower scoring. Add the fact that Indiana's coming off short rest and likely to manage its stars carefully, and the environment points to a slower rhythm. The smart play here is under the projected total. Next up, the bright lights of Madison Square Garden as the New York Knicks host the Washington Wizards. New York's 3-0 preseason record says plenty. They swept their Abu Dhabi series against Philadelphia and edged Minnesota in overtime. The Knicks are building chemistry early, while Washington comes in off a 113-112 home loss to Toronto and faces a quick turnaround with travel. The rest and rhythm clearly favor New York. The Knicks have some minor concerns. Josh Hart remains questionable with back spasms and a recent illness, but their new additions, Malcolm Brogdon and Jordan Clarkson, have already blended nicely with the established core. Washington, on the other hand, is still adjusting. Bilal Coulibaly is out with a thumb injury, AJ Johnson is day-to-day with a leg bruise, and Alex Sir just returned from a minor calf issue. Add in a late-night loss and the travel factor, and you've got the perfect setup for a sluggish road performance. New York's ball movement looks crisp, their rotation depth is strong, and their defensive communication is already postseason level sharp. The Knicks to cover the spread as favorites is the clear call for this matchup. As for the total, the trends are pointing lower. Even in wins, New York's perimeter shooting has been streaky. Just look at their 15 for 57 showing from deep against Minnesota. Combine that with a coaching staff that's still experimenting with second unit rotations in the second half, and it's easy to see why scoring can flatten late. Washington's situation doesn't help either. Missing Coulibaly means less spacing, and the quick turnaround adds fatigue. Both teams are likely to prioritize lineup evaluation over tempo. With bench-heavy minutes and shaky shooting, this one shapes up to land under the projected total. Finally, we head west to the Delta Center, where the Dallas Mavericks face the Utah Jazz. Dallas split their two home exhibitions, a 106-89 win over Oklahoma City followed by a 120-116 loss to Charlotte. Utah, meanwhile, is still searching for its first preseason win after dropping a 140-127 game in Houston and a 134-130 overtime loss in San Antonio. Rookie Ace Bailey has been a bright spot for the Jazz, leading the team with 25 points in that last outing. The key status here: Dallas center Daniel Gafford remains sidelined with a sprained ankle, while Utah lists Lauri Markkanen and Walker Kessler as game-time decisions. Even without those two, Utah's young core, led by Bailey, Keontae George, and Jordan Clarkson, has brought energy and pace. Dallas's rebounding and perimeter defense have been major concerns, allowing a 64-45 rebounding disadvantage and 23 made threes against Charlotte. Gafford's absence leaves the Mavs thin inside, and that's a problem in Salt Lake City's altitude. With Utah rested, at home, and playing with a faster tempo, the edge leans to the Jazz. The pick: Utah to cover the spread as underdogs. And with the way these teams have been playing, it's hard not to expect fireworks on the scoreboard. Utah's two preseason games have combined for 267 and 264 total points. And even if you strip away the overtime in San Antonio, that still leaves a whopping 244 total. Their style is fast, free-flowing, and unrestrained, perfect for high totals. Dallas's 120-116 loss to Charlotte hit 236 total points, showing they're just as willing to trade buckets as they are to give them up. Both benches will see extended minutes, both teams are pushing tempo, and defensive rotations are still sloppy. Even if a few starters sit, the pace and shot volume are too strong to ignore. This one screams over the projected total. And that wraps it up. If you've got another preseason matchup you'd like to see broken down, drop it in the comments below. We read them all and use your suggestions for upcoming videos. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let us know what you think of these 4 picks. Whether you agree, disagree, or have your own angle. The preseason might not count in the standings, but if you know where to look, it counts plenty for the bankroll.